What's up, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. This video is a part 2 to my previous video about which faction is the best in Shadowfight 3. In that video I came to a conclusion that Dynasty is the best faction in Shadowfight 3. First of all, we all know that creating the best fighter requires combining equipment from different factions. We all know that for a fact. But what if they told you to pick one set of equipment from one faction to use it? Which faction do you think is the best? In that case, Dynasty is the best faction. Dynasty is a hybrid between Legion and Heralds. Dynasty have perks that can handle Legion and they have perks that can handle Heralds. Dynasty have a variation of perks that are almost similar to what Heralds or Legions have. If you like to see my previous video about how I chose Dynasty as the best faction, I'm going to post the link up here towards the end of this video. First of all, let's look at the basics. Why Dynasty is the best faction in Shadowfight 3. Legions are well known for their defense and their attack. They have damage return and damage absorption on the helmet and on the armor. Dynasty are well known for their attack and defense. They have fortification and regeneration on the helmet. They have fortification and regeneration on the armor. Herald, on the other hand, is weak when it comes to defense. All they have is deflection on the armor. They have no defense perks on their helmet whatsoever. You hit a Herald on the head, they're gonna get a concussion right away. So Herald is handicapped when it comes to defense perks. The only defense perks that Heralds have is the aphotic barrier and the primary protection, which is only active for 5 minutes. Actually only active for 5 seconds. That is not very useful for a 99-second fight. Legions and Dynasty are the only factions that have poison on the helmet, on the armor and on the weapon. That is something that the Heralds lack. All they have is time bomb on the weapon. They have no poison on the helmet, on the armor. Now when you're fighting a very powerful opponent, you want to return the damage back to them. You cannot do that as a Herald. It's impossible, which gives Herald another handicap. Dynasty is the only faction that has regeneration on the helmet and on the armor. Legion has regeneration on the weapon. Herald can only regenerate after they enter shadow form. Now for example, if you shock a Legion, they won't have regeneration. Dynasty has a regeneration on the helmet, on the armor. If you shock a Herald, they don't have recharge to create more shadow energy so they can regenerate. This is another factor that makes Dynasty a very good faction. Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to the next few things that I'm going to tell you right now. Most people in this game think Shadowfight 3 is all about your skill. It's all about how skillful you are. If that's how you think, then you're completely wrong. If you know how to combine the right sets of perks, combine that with your equipment, you can create a strong fighter who is untouchable. And in the Dynasty faction, you pretty much have everything. For example, if you meet a very powerful opponent who does not take a lot of damage with your weapons, as a Herald you're handicapped. You can handle that opponent as a Legion or a Dynasty. As a Dynasty, you can set your fighter to have poison skin to return all the damage back to the enemy. Poison on the helmet, poison on the armor, poison on the weapon. You can handle that enemy. As a Herald, you cannot do that. The Heralds only have time bomb, and if you happen to get shocked in that match, you cannot return any damage to the enemy whatsoever. As a Dynasty, you have poison to return the damage back. As a Legion, you have damage return. As a Herald, you have nothing to return the damage back. This makes Dynasty a unique, strong faction. This is another example where Dynasty is very good faction. Right now, we are gonna create a defensive Dynasty. You put fortification on the helmet, you put regeneration on the helmet. You go to the armor, you put regeneration on the armor, you put fortification on the armor. That is a very strong defensive combination. You can also use poison skin if you like. On the weapon, Dynasty has this perk called weakness. Now how it works is basically simple. When you attack the enemy, the perk gets activated. And if the enemy hits you right away within a 2-second interval, you will reduce that damage by 50%. That is the function of this perk, weakness. For every single thing that you do in this game, Dynasty always has a counter. Dynasty can create a defensive soldier, can create an attacking soldier. Dynasty can create a soldier for shadow attacks as well. Something that the Heralds can do, Dynasty can do. Something that the Legion can do, Dynasty can do. Something that the Dynasty can do, Herald and Legion cannot do. For example, Dynasty is the only faction that can shock you at will if they want to. Dynasty has perks for revenge, especially if they get shocked, a Dynasty will come for you. The Heralds claim that they are the best in creating shadow energy. A Dynasty can say, bitch please, move aside. I have Spart, I have Rising Tide, and I have Shadow Leech. I'll steal your shadow energy. I'll use my Spart to create shadow energy, then I'll take you out. A Legion will claim that they have the Predator. A Dynasty can put a cornered cut on the armor to counter a Legion Predator. As soon as the Dynasty energy goes below 20%, they can use cornered cut to inflict plus 50% damage on every single hit. To top it off, a Dynasty can make enough shadow energy to take a Legion out. Let us put some of the things that we just talked about into action. Right now I'm going to create a poisonous attacking Dynasty, one who can poison the enemy and inflict more damage at the same time. We are going to test it out in a duel. Dynasty is one of the best factions you can use in this game. If you play in events and you use Dynasty equipment, it's very useful. In events, the rarity of your equipments and perks matter the most, and Dynasty always have the best. If you equip Dynasty equipments and go play in an event, you have a higher chance of beating that event. Only a Dynasty set can come up with everything needed to counter any opponent. I am going to say this one more time. We all know that creating the best fighter requires mixing different sets from different factions. It requires mixing helmet, armor, and weapon from different factions. That is how you create the best fighter. But if you were to pick one set from one faction, you can't go wrong with a Dynasty, because you can create a soldier who can pretty much do anything in a Dynasty faction. For example, in this match, I have poison to poison this guy. Every time he hits me, poison is gonna get activated. All the damage is gonna go back to him. On my weapon, I also have poison. I have Spart to create shadow energy to take him out in case things don't start going my way. He's gonna keep hitting me and the poison is gonna keep getting activated. All the damage is going back to him over 6 seconds. He won't even know what happened. That's one good thing about Dynasty. Poison, return that back to the enemy. As a Herald, you cannot return any damage back to enemy. If you meet somebody who is so overpowered, when your weapon cannot really do much, there is nothing you can do as a Herald. As a Legion, you have damage return. As a Dynasty, you have poison. As a Herald, well, I don't know what you're gonna do. You can't return any damage back. Using Dynasty equipment is very important in this game. If you're a very skillful fighter and you really know how to combine perks and use them, you'll become untouchable. As a Dynasty, you can use the plaque perk to shock your enemy and make them weak. That is one of the best perks in this game. If you can shock your enemy within the first few seconds, not only do they lose their weapon, they lose all their perks as well as the shadow attack from their weapon. Now Heralds are the one who are affected the most if they get shocked, because they lose their fast weapons. We all know Heralds for spamming weapons. If you take away their spamming weapon, they're gonna start spamming kicks. It's good that NEKKI decided to nerf the Herald kick. Now they pretty much have nothing. No poison, no damage return, no regeneration on the armor. They just rely on their shadow energy. And you as a Dynasty, all you have to do is just shock a Herald and you've pretty much taken everything from them. Heralds are like Thor without the Stormbreaker or the Mjolnir. If you take it away, Thor becomes nothing. You guys know Thor, right? The god of thunder. You take away his weapon, he starts crying. Now most people in this game claim that Dynasty Ants is a useless range weapon. They are completely wrong. This range weapon is for strategy. You can use it to push your enemy far away and give you time to recover. You can use it to push your enemy far away and give you time to think about your next move. These Dynasty Ants can be used to counter a Herald interference. As soon as you see a Herald activate interference on you, throw this ant on their foot. It will push them far away, giving you the time to recover from that interference. So this ant is just not there for nothing. You can use it for different strategy. Which is why in this game, if you really know how to combine different sets of equipment and perks, you will become untouchable soldier. If you're very skillful, you can combine different perks from different factions and create a super strong soldier. But if it comes to picking equipment from one faction, everything, or a full set from one faction, Dynasty is the best. Because you can create a soldier for everything. Defense, attack, poison, damage return, fighting with strategy, shadow energy, everything, you name it. A Dynasty can do it with no problem. If you're still here, continue enjoying the upcoming matches with different Dynasty perks. Thank you for clicking on this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section. If you're new to this channel, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any videos. Again, thank you for watching. And all my Dynasty people, show yourselves in the comment section. All the Herald people who still think they're on top, you can comment in the comment section. Guys, comment which faction you think is the greatest, and let's have the bragging rights determined in the comment section. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy the video. Until then, see you all in the next one.
Ah!